Our next project will be, as far as animal rescue goes, goats and sheep. So we'll have to build another shelter barn for them, hopefully this year. But another aspect of Veganville is the permaculture side, because this is 11 acres, and we want to be able to utilize every piece of acreage that we can for the sustainability of the farm, and to maybe even, this orchard will feed, obviously, our animals. Probably produce way more than what we even need for the animals, so you can donate it to food banks and to maybe the local school. Eventually we'll probably add on to it for a bigger orchard, and then we can have like a program where people pay, per month, and that's just another way of income for the farm and for the future. So this day is really exciting for me, because this vision of having an orchard is on the plans since day one. So thank you all for coming. And like I said, I'm not that informed about permaculture, but Troy is. And so he made a little presentation. I don't know if we're going to be able to get into it, but it should only be about 10 minutes or so. Do you want to start?
Sure, that sounds great.
It's on our little, we don't have the projector or anything yet, but we do have a little computer over here. So take it away, Troy, then.
Can I get somebody tall? Just kind of, or
Eric?
somebody just kind of stand here and hold it.
The rest of the band, this is Wenzel from Moonhooch. The rest of the band is on their way. So by the way, I want to introduce you to Wenzel and Nicolette and Elena, and they were I don't know, very. They contacted us, and what I really loved about them is that they incorporate these action days in their tour. And so this isn't the only time they've done good things. They're all vegan, and they're all wanting to help the animal and the world. And so thanks for coming, and thanks for supporting us. And they had an awesome show last night. Awesome. All right. Can we see it? Kind of.
Can you guys see this? Some of you guys can see some of it, maybe. We'll do what we can. I'll try to talk up. There's a lot of road noise. I apologize if you can't read it. I'm Troy. I have a certification in permaculture design. I'm working on becoming a master gardener right now. I'm also LEED certified. I have sustainability certification as well. So I've got a little bit of practice, but I'm actually really new to a lot of this stuff. This will be my first orchard. I bought a new broadfork we're going to be using today. I used it 4 times before everybody got here. I feel like an expert, and I'm going to teach you all how to use it. It's going to be great. This is Cecilia. Yeah, she introduced herself just a little bit ago in Veganville, and she got started here because of her interest in animal activism. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the other animals around here too that may interest some of you guys as we go through the day. But on Veganville, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was the land that we're on, and I'm going to turn that back to Cecilia to talk about acknowledging the land that we're on today.
Yeah, so I just learned this week because of Troy that, we're sitting on land that's been around for millions and millions of years. And before us, there were native tribes that lived on this land, and I think it was mostly 3 different tribes. The Chinook, the Nehalem, and the Clackamas tribes. And so I think it's important to respect the land that we're on and honor the tribes that lived here for thousands and thousands of years. So we created a little land acknowledgement, and the tribes actually, we sent it to them, and they approved our message and thanked us for acknowledging them. So I'm going to read it to you. A core part of Veganville's mission is to provide sanctuary, which includes respect for all living things in the world around us. As such, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge that land we are meeting on today is the original homelands of the Clackamas, Nehalem, and Chinook peoples, now parts of the Clatsop-Nehalem Confederated Tribes and Chinook Indian Nation. We acknowledge the history and that these lands were originally appropriated through forced removal, or in the case of the Clackamas, the extinction by smallpox. We pay our respect to the elders, both past and present, and to those who are stewards of this land. We honor all of the diverse indigenous peoples still connected to this land on which we gather. We recognize that we are part of this earth and it is a part of us. And then we also have a beautiful poem that was written by a Chinook person, and the poem is called "The Garden is Rich," so I thought that was appropriate for today. The garden is rich with diversity, with plants of 100 families. In the space between the trees, with all the colors and fragrances, basil, mint, and lavender, great mystery keep my remembrance pure. Raspberry, apple, rose, great mystery fill my heart with love. Dill, anise, tansy, holy winds blow in me. Rhododendron, zinnia, may my prayer be beautiful. May my remembrance, O great mystery, be an incense to thee. In the sacred grove of eternity, as I smell and remember the ancient forest of the earth.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Amen. Thank you. All right, so talking about the local environment here, there's about 20 endangered animals in the area, including the spotted owl, northern spotted owl. There's been a lot of history about that, and with people that are working on the defense of the planet. The Oregon coastal coho also are local to the area and endangered. This creek right at the base of the property here in Veganville is Larson Creek that feeds into the Nehalem, that feeds right into Nehalem Bay and goes right out to the Pacific Ocean. If you were in like a little miniature tiny boat, you could maybe ride it out there today. And if you were to do that today, there would be a pod of orcas passing by. So the water connected to this land is connected immediately to the orca that are passing by Oregon here today. So a way to tie it to the local land around us. This is also a certified wildlife habitat. There's a portion of the property down there by the creek that basically people just don't even go into right now. I think a couple of people have been there over the last 3 years or something, and otherwise it is just going back to the wild.
And we'll keep it that way.
Yep.
So we'll always have a portion of this property just a wild place for animals to come and live in sanctuary.
So we're going to be doing some permaculture stuff today. Permaculture is a philosophy of basically working with nature and the land. It can be done in an urban backyard setting or on very large properties, which is generally where it's, I guess, thought of. In permaculture, and you can't see the image here very well, but one of the things that we learn and talk about is that as humans, we are masters of succession in the planet, and we have the ability to take a forest and turn it into a desert, and we have the ability to go the opposite direction as well. And that's a pretty unique thing for our species. There's other species out there that can do transformative things with the environment. Beavers, for example, are one of them. But as permaculturists, part of what we want to do is to increase the biodiversity of the spaces that we're at, and some of that is what we're going to be doing with the orchard that we plant today. A permaculture orchard is a little bit different from a standard orchard or what's considered conventional today. Usually it's like monocropped, and there'll just be like rows and rows and rows of the same type of tree, where we have, I think, 4 species of apple and pear that we're going to be mixing with lilac and goomyberries and sea berries. And then eventually we'll plant an understory that'll have onions and raspberries and all kinds of other perennial and annual crops underneath it. So we're going to make the most of all the spaces to fill it in with as much habitat as possible to produce food and space for all the little bugs and insects around here. So we're going to be planting the food forest kind of based on this guy, Steven Silverwitsky, I think is his last name. He's Canadian, and he's got this permaculture system for planting that he calls NAP, and you basically plant a nitrogen-fixing plant in between pears and apples, where you go nitrogen, apple, pear, nitrogen, apple, pear. And the nitrogen plant, its sole purpose really in the orchard is to help just add nutrients to the soil and increase the biodiversity by having other species there. When you plant all of the same thing, a mold can come in or a pest of some sort and can wipe out the whole thing. But when you diversify the crops that you have in your orchard or in your garden, then any one pest can't take out the whole thing. And so that's some of what we're hoping to do here with the permaculture orchard. This is the property. You guys are going to be able to see that.
And I just passed this one around. So it's basically our diagram of the trees and the spacing.
There you go. So We tested the soil out here. It's generally pretty good condition. There's some elk, Roosevelt elk, that pass through the property, and they help to add lots of nutrients to the soil. Thank you, elk. But they also trample stuff down, so that's why we're going to be doing some of the stuff that we're doing today. We did add lime to the soil as one of the amendments, and we may add other amendments as we go on to help the plants. This soil is very much alive. There is about 1 billion life forms in a teaspoon of the soil out here. If you were to collect all of those life forms on the property, it'd be about 24 cattle worth to tend to. So when Cecilia took on this property, she took on a lot more animals than she realized. But it's her responsibility to take care of all those living creatures too. We're going to be doing what I mentioned just a little bit earlier ago. It's called broad forking. There's different methods for farming and gardening. Till, no-till, and broad fork are 3 of those. Tilling is something you guys may have heard of before. You come in with a plow, you turn the soil over, it aerates the land. Problem is that it breaks up the healthy soil, and over time it basically will destroy the soil. So other people are looking or have been working on different methods. No-till is one permaculture method, and it's just exactly like what it says. You don't till the ground, you just kind of leave it as it is and build up on top of it and let the nutrients just kind of sink down and let the nematodes and worms and other things break down the soil for you. We're going to be doing a thing called broad forking. It's kind of a mixture between no-till and till, and we're going to minimally till the soil to get them started, and then Cecilia will use them as no-till moving forward from there. Just adding compost essentially to the top as she goes along. Some instructions on how to plant a tree, which nobody can read right now, and we'll go over that when we get to trees. And that's kind of it, I think, for the presentation. About 10 minutes or so. Does anybody have any questions about any of that, or permaculture, or orchards, or anything I can answer right now?
So is everyone here interested in helping with the orchard? Everybody? Okay. So maybe what we'll do, because we have 4 rows. How many are here? Let's do a quick count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20. Say we have probably 25, and we have 4 rows. Okay. What do you think? Should we maybe put 7 to each row?
Yeah, 5 or 6 people or something like that to a row.
5 or 6 people to a row?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some limited tools. We've got a broad fork, which is kind of a physical tool, but it's also anybody here, I think, can do it. Maybe Jackson won't be able to. But otherwise, everybody should be able to, and so we can kind of all take our turns with that one.
Okay.
Same with the shovels and the hose and stuff. We'll just kind of have to share some of the stuff. So maybe we could have even a group of 5 or 6.
If there's not enough
to start, and then other people could work on other stuff and kind of cycle through.
We do have some stuff that needs to get done too. So maybe we can rotate too.
Yep.
So and then we'll basically be doing that for the next hour and a half or 2 hours. And then let's see, what time is it? Almost 2. What time are we doing? And then we're going to do yoga?
Well, I think Rose is going to do some qigong.
What time
since
we
we
want
don't
to do
have math so wet.
Okay, so we're going to change that from yoga to
qigong.
Cool.
We'll take a little break.
Maybe at 4. We'll do that, so that gives us 2 hours solid to work on that. And then at 4 we'll do this, and then we'll just kind of see where we're at after that, and then we'll probably do dinner at 4:30 or 5 if that's cool, and then we'll do the bonfire with our jam session. Yeah. Did you guys bring instruments? Did everybody bring? Cool. We have a few instruments.
I think we have the saxophone and the accordion.
Oh well, I know we have those, and we have lots of instruments as well, so we can bring a bunch out.
So I'll play the piano.
You have one if you want to.
If I want to play the piano.
And then we'll come to some instruments.
Yes.
It'll be a good time.
It'd be nice to have some drums.
We have a couple drums.
Yeah.
Well, we have one.
Good one.
Yeah. We do. It's okay. You just missed the presentation. It's all right. So what are we gonna do? About 20 over there?
Yeah, if some people want to come over, we can just get started over there and another Broad Fork and starting to work on the rows. And
Okay, so let's head over to the orchard then, if that's cool.
Should we check them in?
Cecilia's, and I would just bring it back.
Should we check in those people that just came out?
Let's not go into the big area.
should.
You've got
I'm gonna put up
permission
her
from
laptop
somebody if that's cool.
Oh, is it?
With everybody. 'Cause
Okay.
We're still building enclosures, and if they get out, they'll run away. So that will work. So yeah, and then the bathroom.
That's why I was just talking.
We just have the one bathroom in my house, and you're all welcome to use it. You know, you're totally fine with going outside too. It's like a coyote predator thing where you like, it's males, so like they're afraid of, they won't come around. So if you're a male, feel free to go outside.
It's good for the soil. It's got nitrogen. Just piss on everything. It's good.
Yeah. So that's the bathroom situation, the pig situation, and then I think that covers about everything, right? Yeah. All right. Let's go plant some.